Have you ever tried using a lower third template designed for 30 frames per second in a 60 frames per second timeline? If so, you might have noticed that the animation speeds up unexpectedly. But don't worry. Today, I'm going to show you how to adjust the timing of your keyframes so that your animation maintains its original duration while perfectly fitting the new frame rate. Hi there! Have you ever used a lower third template designed for a specific frame rate in a timeline with a different frame rate? If the frame rate of your lower third is lower than that of your timeline, you may notice that the animation speeds up unexpectedly. Conversely, if the lower third's frame rate is higher than the timeline's, the animation may slow down. But don't worry. Today, I'm going to show you how to adjust the timing of your keyframes so that your animation maintains its original duration, regardless of the frame rate of your timeline. Let's go to the Fusion tab and add and take a closer look at what happens with this lower third that was originally set to run for 7.26 seconds at 30 frames per second. Now, let's head back to the Edit tab and adjust the duration of the Fusion composition to align with the lower third animation, setting it to 7.27 seconds. Let's ensure that our red line is positioned at 7.25 seconds, aligning it with the point of the last motion. Since this timeline is set to 30 frames per second, the next step is to create a new timeline with a frame rate of 60 frames per second. This will allow us to properly accommodate our adjustments. Let's go to the Fusion tab and add the lower third in similar steps. Now, let's head back to the Edit tab and play back our lower third. You may have noticed that the animation has become faster, resulting in a new duration of 3.55 seconds for the last motion. In contrast, the original duration was 7.25 seconds at 30 frames per second. This discrepancy highlights the impact of changing frame rates on the timing of animations. Now, let's adjust the duration of the Fusion composition to align with the lower third animation, setting it to 7.27 seconds. Let's ensure that our red line is positioned at 7.25 seconds, aligning it with the point of the last motion. And back to the Fusion tab. Click on the Spline button at the top of the Fusion tab, and the Spline editor will open here. First, click on this icon in the Spline editor to make all keyframes visible. Then click on this icon to fit our keyframes within the view, ensuring that all adjustments are easily visible. Right-click in this area, then select Points from the drop-down menu, and choose All to select all keyframes. Alternatively, you can press Command+A from keyboard for a quick selection. Then click on this icon at bottom of the Spline editor panel. You will see these white lines become visible. Now hover your mouse over the right line and click to grab it. Then move it slightly to the right until the red line aligns with the point of the last motion. Now close the Spline editor. After completing these steps, you can consider the process is successful. However, if you notice any nodes turning red, like this means that one or more nodes do not cover the entire duration of your animation, which is why they have turned red. This issue is easy to fix. Click on the Keyframes button located in the top right corner of the Fusion page. This will open the Keyframes panel. In the Keyframes panel, click on the icon that makes all keyframes visible. If you have a group of nodes, click on the appropriate icon in the Keyframes panel to make all nodes visible. Review the keyframes for any affected nodes to ensure they cover the entire duration of your animation. If you notice any keyframes that do not cover the full range, like this, adjust them by hovering your mouse over the nodes until the cursor changes to this icon, not this. Click and hold, then move it until the nodes align with the point of the last node. You can now see that our lower third is visible here, once you made the adjustment. Now, let's return to the Edit tab and play back our lower third. Now, this is set to the original duration of 7.25 seconds at 30 frames per second. This is now at 60 frames per second while maintaining the same duration, without affecting the timing of the animations due to the change in frame rates. Now, you can either save your file, create a macro, or choose the second option to export your lower third as a transparent video. Move to the Deliver section. If you choose MP4 from the Format dropdown, select H.265 from the codec options. You will see Export Alpha appear under frame rate. Just enable that option. If you choose QuickTime from the Format dropdown, select H.265 from the codec options. You will see Export Alpha appear under frame rate. Simply enable that option. Then, click Add to Render Queue and render your lower third as a transparent video. Now that you've learned how to adjust the timing of your keyframes to maintain the original duration of your lower third animation, you can confidently use templates across different frame rates without any surprises. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe or follow for more tips and tricks on video editing. I'd love to hear your experiences or any questions you have in the comments below. Until next time, happy editing!